Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Rotoballer Radio Waiver Wire Series. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano, here with you for the Week 2 Waiver Wire at the running back position. Full disclosure, recording this Sunday evening for this early waiver wire before the Sunday and Monday night games, so things can happen, injuries, ineffectiveness, whatever it may be, over the last two games, so adjust accordingly. Okay, I use Yahoo roster percentages, try to keep it at or below 50% rostered. A couple of injuries at the running back position. Najee Harris, Pittsburgh leaves with a foot situation. Eli Mitchell leaves for San Francisco with a knee injury. And that leads the waiver wire conversation. At number 5, Dontrell Hilliard of the Tennessee Titans. 6% rostered, pass catching back up for Derrick Henry. Had a nice game, 2 carries for 8 yards, but was a favorite of Ryan Tannehill in the passing game. Targeted 4 times, 3 receptions, 61 yards, and 2 touchdowns, 21.9 fantasy points. Tough to duplicate that, especially next week against the Buffalo Bills, but in a PPR format, can be a useful bye week fill-in in the coming weeks once the bye weeks start. At number 4, Khalil Herbert of the Chicago Bears. 41% rostered, and it should be higher than that. He's the clear backup to David Montgomery. Montgomery in week 1 had 17 carries. Khalil Herbert had 9 carries, 5 yards per carry, 9 for 45. Got in the end zone in Chicago's upset win. 1 target, 1 reception for -2 yards. Finished with 11.3 fantasy points. And they, as the Chicago Bears, next week go up against the Green Bay Packers. At number 3, and here's where the waiver wire, I think, becomes more useful in a short-term situation. Jamal Williams of the Detroit Lions. He is the number 2 running back in Detroit. DeAndre Swift had a monster game 1. But Detroit had no problem going to Jamal Williams at all when DeAndre Swift needed a breather. They had no problem going to Jamal Williams on the goal line. Jamal Williams, just under 50% rostered. Probably won't be able to talk about him again after this video. Right now at 47% rostered. 11 carries, 28 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 targets, 1 reception for 2. Finished with 16 points. Faces Washington next week. DeAndre Swift, 15 carries. He had the 3 receptions. He went over for 140 yards. Swift was a beast. Okay, Jamal Williams not as effective with his run, but did have a nose for the end zone. And now the injuries. Number 2, Jaylen Warren, especially if you lost Najee Harris. Jaylen Warren, the rookie, is the backup running back on Pittsburgh. He came in late in the game. They didn't use him much as Pittsburgh was trying to win that game in overtime. Jaylen Warren, only 4% rostered. Didn't do much, 3 carries, 7 yards, was targeted once. Didn't really have any impact, okay? 0.7 fantasy points. However, with the injury to Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren sits at number 2 on the waiver wire claims at running back. He goes against New England next week. And at number 1, with Eli Mitchell out, look for Jeff Wilson. Tyrion Davis-Price was inactive for week 1. Jeff Wilson second on the depth charts. He did get 9 carries for 22 yards. Did get 2 receptions for 8. Finished with 5 fantasy points. He's only 16% rostered. That's going to skyrocket as he'll be the starter next week, assuming Eli Mitchell does miss time. He faces Seattle next week in week 2. Okay, so in review, at number 5, PPR formats especially, Dontrell Hilliard, unless you have Derrick Henry, he's a terrific backup there. Khalil Herbert sits at number 4. Jamal Williams, number 3. Number 2 on the waiver wire at the running back position for week 2 is Jaylen Warren filling in for Najee Harris. And at number 1, Jeff Wilson of the San Francisco 49ers for a potential loss of Eli Mitchell. All right, everybody, if you're looking for more waiver wire content, head over to rotoballer.com. Sign up for the premium pass right now. Save yourself 10% at discount using the promo code ACES. Follow me on Twitter at @AnianoFantasy. Good luck working the waiver wire, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks.